All right, welcome back to another episode of Active Every Day. Today we're going to take a deeper dive into mobility. We've done some things so far that have taught you how to loosen your body up. And there's been a big focus on our spine, our neck, our middle back through our trunk, our lower back through our pelvis. It's all very important. We start with the spine because it's easy to injure the spine if we're really tight, we lack mobility, we lack stability. Every movement we do requires us to be moving through our spine. And if we have a back injury, it can really hold us down. If you've ever experienced a back injury, slip disc, bulge disc, sciatic pain relating to stiffness in the back or hips, man, they're just so uncomfortable. And like I said, can really put us down and out for a long time. We can feel helpless. We can feel like there's no good answers. We can go to a doctor, a chiropractor, a physical therapist. We can have lots of intervention coming from the outside in and possibly have little to no relief. We might even have a suggestion for surgery. For most of us, if we just take control, we assess ourselves, and we start to learn, we can increase our mobility and we can decrease our pain. So enough chat about the back. I want to make sure that we can get into the entire body today. We'll start with our normal neck, trunk, pelvis, cervical spine, thoracic spine, lumbar spine, and then we're going to move into the rest of the body. We're going to be down on the floor a little bit today. So if you have any type of mat or if you have a carpeted area, if you're in your house, get something to pad the floor. It could be a bit more comfortable. Hey, if we're comfortable, we might be able to increase our tolerance into some of these positions, okay? Let's start moving. So it's the neck. It's the big, slow rotation pattern. I'm doing a couple of things here, moving slow, trying to feel some stretching in some of my muscles. I'm trying to explore how big I can move, and I'm doing it again. I'm doing it slow. I want to be able to spend enough time as I move around, sensing what all these different areas feel like around my neck. And if any one area is really in particular tight, stiff, I may revisit that area in the future. 5 to 10 reps. We're going to do a lot of mobility work today, so let's keep it at 5 today. But you hear me say a 5 to 10 rep ratio a lot, and that's a good number to practice. You can always do more. But if you're doing more than 10, I would actually just encourage you to slow way down and do fewer reps with more intention. Okay, so nice and slow as we move around. I feel a little stiff on this side. It's pretty common, actually, that I feel a little more stiff on one side than the other. So I'm just logging that in my mind. I'm gonna come back to this on my own, this right side, do a few more reps later in the workout. Now we move into the trunk, so the middle of our spine. I face the camera, yeah, and I touch the front of my body, but we've got to be a little more thoughtful about what I'm doing. I'm talking about height in my body. So here to here is my cervical spine, here to here is my thoracic spine, and then the bottom section is my lumbar spine. So we want to move in this area. So I cross and I start my circles. It's the same concept as the neck. I'm exposing how much I can articulate segmentally through the middle of my spine. So I'm not letting my hips move around, okay? Actually doesn't matter what you do with your head. You can let your head dip and around and roll, or you can keep your head more level. I actually never really think about what's happening at the head. I just try to make sure the bottom doesn't move a lot. And I'm able to move a lot right here. And you'll notice this is where my rib cage is, right about here. A little lower is my belly button, and I want all this movement, if possible, belly button or above. So I'll keep my hands here for a moment to kind of show you that movement. 5 to 10 reps. I think I've gone over 5 with all this talking. That's okay. Let's change direction. And I'll give you a side view. You can see how much I'm leaning off to the side, but let me turn, and then I'll give you some perspective on how much I'm coming forward and backwards. Now I'm moving as big as I can in this area. Let me show you a rep that's not so good. If I come around to the front and I bend down as I come around, that's different. You can see this is different than me staying smaller sections moving. Now I'm really just in that upper section. We're gonna get to that lower in a moment. Okay, 5 to 10 reps, and then we do our pelvis. Tuck my shirt in, pull out my string so you can really see my waist. We're looking at rotation here. Again, we can go hands up top, keep the feet flat. The knees are gonna move, but the shoulders shouldn't. It's all pelvis. So I twist my pelvis, and I twist my pelvis, and I twist my pelvis. Here's 4, let's go 10, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, that's our twist pattern. We have a front and back tilt. I'm gonna put my hands on my waist to show you a little bit. My pelvis is moving with my hands, so my fingertips are going down because my pelvis is tilting. My fingertips are rising because my pelvis is tilting the other direction. Tilt, tilt. That's to the front, that's to the back, that's to the front, that's to the back, front, back, front, back, front, and back. We just want to get better at control and how big we move. The more often joints move, the more mobile those joints will be. The more often they move, the more hydrated those joints will be. Look, even if we have some arthritis and we've got some discomfort when we begin moving, the movement spreads fluid around the joint. It's called synovial fluid, and that helps grease the joint. That's how you can think of it. So if we have pain in our joints, we need to get the tissue looser so there's less pressure in the joint, and then we need to spread that fluid around so there's lubrication in the joint. With all movement, there may be some discomfort. That's okay. We've got to accept that. It's part of our change. Okay? Hips, ankles, then we'll take care of our shoulders while we're standing. So the hip, we have this up, we have this out, we have this turn around to the back and down pattern. And we've made suggestions to hold on to something if you don't have good balance. If we can remove the challenge of balance while we work on our hip, it might make it easier to target the muscles in the hip and thus help our mobility. So I'm doing one direction right now. I've shown it differently before. I'll get to that. But just one direction out, rotate to the back and down. Let's go one more. So up, out, rotate, and down. I really get a sense of feeling all of these muscles. It's really nice. Let's try it in reverse. Back, out, around to the front. Back, out, and around to the front. 3 more. Back, out, around to the front. 2 more. Hold on to something if you need it. Back, out and around. Last rep. Excellent. Let's do the other hip. All of these mobility drills, if we do them with the intention to move slower, we get more out of them. So this isn't what we're looking at. We gotta go slow. We want the muscles to burn and work for us. Okay? Not just exploring how far a joint can go or how long a muscle can be stretched, but strengthening the muscles enhances our mobility, the ability to move with bigger ranges of motion. Okay? Let's go in reverse. And if at this point you're starting to heat up, muscles are starting to get a little bit tired in your legs from these patterns, yeah, it's because we're doing it the right way. okay? We get heat happening for lots of reasons. The muscles get a little blood circulation, so we feel some localized heat. Our nervous system starts to become stimulated. Our mind-body connection is increasing. Our focus demand is going up. We get some global heat in the body from this. Excellent. The ankles, circles, okay? We could do them seated. We've done those in other videos. We can do them standing, foot off the ground. Big, slow circle. It's a common one I see people get fast with. Stay slow. Find the end point. How big of a circle can you create? How much muscle activation can you feel below the knee, between your knee and your ankle? Can you feel your calf flexing? Can you feel the side of your calf? Can you feel the front near your shin? Can you feel action in your foot, like in your arch or in your toes, as you circle around? We want things to come alive. We want to gain a sense of feel. We got to go slow for it. Change direction. 1, 2, 3, 4. Look, if you're someone who does not enjoy doing mobility work, we're in the same club. I don't either. I do not either. But what I do like is how I feel having done mobility work. And for those of you who don't know me well, you don't have an idea as to how tight I have been in my life. Some of you who do know me well, especially folks who might have gone to college with me or known me shortly after college, at my peak strength, at my peak size, at my peak performance in sports, I had the least amount of mobility. There was also a point in my life where I was having a lot of injuries. 15 years later, I've adopted a solid mobility program. It's been implemented for about 10 years. It took me a few years out of school to finally say, all right, guy, I've got the time. All right, I'm not putting 3-4 hours a day into practice, heavy weight training, eating, trying to sleep. Okay, now the priorities have shifted. I'm getting older. By no means do I feel old, but I absolutely feel my old injuries creeping in. I absolutely feel that first foot hitting the ground in the morning, stiffness and discomfort in a lot of my lower extremity joints. Doesn't mean I can't start the engine, do a little tune-up, drive them wheels right off the car. Okay, I'm still going hard, but I'm putting more time and focus into my prep work, and it's helping my sustainability, and that's what I'm trying to help you all with. So we do our ankles nice and slow. Let's bring it down. Oh, sorry, shoulders. 2 things I want to do for the shoulders. Shoulder circles. I just want your shoulders to warm up. So we're going to do 30 reps, 10 small. Okay? 10 medium. 7, 8, 9, 10, and 10 big. 1, 2, as big as you can reach. 3, 4, 5. You can see I'm not swinging. I'm moving, pushing, reaching, exploring where I can take my arms. 9 and 10. Do the same thing going the other direction. So whatever way you were circling, just change directions. Do 10 small. Just trying to get a lot of heat in your shoulders, warm up those muscles, get some blood going. Medium, 10 reps. Shoulders getting hot. I feel it. And last 10, big. Now, are these the only movements we can do for our neck, trunk, pelvis, ankles, hips, shoulders? No. But this is a great list to start with and to learn from. And if this is all you ever learn and do, well, You're clearly going to be moving a few steps ahead of where you were. Okay, let's bring it down to the floor. Let's talk about another setup for the hips, and then we'll explore some of the musculature down in our lower body. So we're going to talk about a half kneeling stance. Half kneeling stance can really enhance split stance exercises like our lunges and our split squats. Can really help with knee tolerance for flexibility and loading, all right? So that we can have stronger, more capable knees, ankles as well. So here's what I want to do first. I just want to get us used to moving front to back. Now, as I start moving, I'll talk about my setup with my stance and my position. I just want to go back and front. Okay? My back foot, I've got two options. I don't know if you can see that. I could have my toes curled, okay? Or I could have my shoestrings with the top of my foot on the floor. There's value in both positions. So we should explore both positions. Some reps, and then some reps. Okay? We need our foot to move and bend and flex. So we're gonna do some of both. How far should you go? As far as you can go. If you continue to search for bigger ranges of motion, you may feel some restriction, some tension, some stretching over time. How far back? As far as you can go. Over time, it's going to open up and develop. We just have to spend the minutes. Okay, so front to back. The next position I want us to work on is the pelvis tilt. We did it standing. In a kneeling position, we can do it as well. So we tilt and tilt, tilt and tilt. I stick my pelvis back and down. You can see my butt stick out. I tuck my butt under. Do about 10 of those. Again, you should feel some differences in how your muscles stretch. This hip here really gets a stretch when I tuck my pelvis under. When I stick my butt back, it kind of releases. Okay? And then the last thing we'll do, we're going to take our front leg, we're going to reach it out a little bit further to the front, then we're going to try to bring our hands down towards the floor. And this may help promote a nice stretch more through the front leg. So we'll bring our hands down to the floor, and then we're going to create a little bit of movement. The movement is with our knee, all right? I want to reach my knee out. It's okay if the foot rolls a little, then I'm going to reach my knee in. I'm going to reach my knee out and reach my knee in as far as you can move. Reach it out, reach it in, reach it out, reach it in. Let's do about 10 of those. I've lost count. That's okay. None of this has to be exact. Nothing about exercise needs to be exact. Everyone's different. Every day is different. The demands that we experience in life are constantly varied. It's okay to have some variance here. Excellent. Let's come on back. Let's switch sides. Again, foot placement of the back foot. We've got two options. I'm going to start with the toes curled under, and I'm going to rock forwards and backwards. Forwards and backwards. Let's do about 10 of these. I'm gradually exploring how far I can go. The very first rep, I may not push 100% both ways. I might start more like 60%, 70%, how far I can go. 80%, so I'm gradually exploring a little further, I'm just getting my position woke up. I'm getting my joints used to the movement, okay? And as I get into that 5th, 6th rep, I'm really checking out how far can the body go. Yep. Maybe rep 9. Again, you gotta get used to this. I don't count all these reps out loud for you because I'm talking and trying to educate you along the way. So don't get too twisted up if I don't do the exact reps I'm suggesting. Okay? I think that's about 10. I'm gonna turn that back foot. I'm gonna go shoestrings down. I'm just gonna do a couple more reps. I'm gonna lean back on that foot, see what I can get. Couple more, sit on back. I'm not a bad comparison. You might see me move bigger than you. You might move bigger than me. But if you're moving less than me, yeah, sure, this is a standard you can compare yourself to. I'm comparing myself to gymnasts, circus performers, right? I want to have as much flexibility as the human body can accept. So I'm searching for it. Okay, second, we're gonna move that foot out a little bit. Oh, excuse me, before I move that foot out, I wanna do those pelvis tilts. Hands on the hips can help, tilt it out, tilt it in. You know you're doing something right if you look down at your body and you can see your body moving. If you can see yourself in a mirror, possibly, you should see your butt stick out, your butt come under. The most important though, it's not what you look like, it's what you feel. If you feel increased stretch on the front of your downside hip, when you stick your butt forward, excellent. We're getting some additional stretching on our hip. About 10 reps, back, forward, back, and forward. I'm starting to sweat a lot, y'all. Okay, take that step extra to the front, hands down to the floor. And then we're gonna start moving the knee. And I'm not pressing with my elbow. I'm using the muscles in my hip to reach out and reach in. Reach out and in. Let's do 10 of them. Here's 3. Here's 4. Here's 5. And 6. And 7. Here's 8. Here's 9. And here's 10. Okay, let's get a little bit further down to the floor to a seated position. Got one more movement that can be really good for the hips, and then we'll do a big one for the shoulders with rotation. So let's get our feet flat on the floor. How far out or in, kind of doesn't matter. We just want to have the ability to keep our feet kind of in the same position. So I got my heels on the floor. I can't keep my toes on the floor. That's the kind of position I'm in. I'm a little wider than shoulder width apart, and I'm leaning back on my hands. My chest is up tall. I don't want to be lazy here. I want to be up. I want to promote posture. And then we're just going to do one knee at a time. We're going to reach the knee in and out. Reach the knee in and out. Both knees together. If they can touch, squeeze them together and out. Let's do it a few more times. One and the other and both. Remember, posture tall. It's easy to get lazy here. Squeeze the knees. Do a few more. I also want to show you that as I reach the knee in, I'm not turning my whole body. I'm just moving the leg. It's not wrong if you move your whole body, okay? It's just different. So let's learn how to just move the leg. And in the future, maybe we'll do both. Move the leg and the hips and the body. And bring it together. Now, if this causes you a little bit of knee pain, don't reach as far inward. Just shallow the movement a little. And you should, or you may, still be able to create this pattern without that pain in the knee. If you have pre-existing injuries, anything we do, you may need to modify. But if you end up with pain you weren't expecting, try doing the movement smaller at first. You just might need to get your body used to the pattern. Muscles might need to loosen up a little bit that are pulling on your knees or other joints, depending on the exercise. Okay, excellent. And now let's do one rotation exercise for our back and also shoulders. We'll call these book openers. So I'm gonna lay on my side. I'm gonna put my knees together. Reach my arms out. My head, let me turn a little bit more for you. My head is off the floor. When I open and roll over, I'm gonna put my head on the floor so I can relax my neck. So this is my starting position. I reach up and over. My eyes follow my hand. I go as far as I can go. I let my head rest on the floor, you can see, and then I let this arm drop towards the floor. Hold for 1 to 2 seconds, and come on back over. Today we're just gonna do 10 reps and hold for 1 to 2 seconds. Here's 1, 2, and back. We could hold for 30 seconds or 2 minutes. We could have our arm in different positions. If you've tried this exercise before, you might know different variations. This is how we're doing it today. 1 to 2 seconds. And close down. Now, I think of my arms as tracing 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock on a clock face. And that's my initial position. 3 o'clock, 9 o'clock, back and forth. Over time, you may find that it becomes easier and easier to get your head or shoulder or elbow or hand down to the floor. I'm going to do one more. I think it's 10 reps. Excellent. I'm going to roll over to my other side. Same setup, knees together, arms out. As I reach over, I'm going to drop my head to the floor, let this arm and shoulder drop down, and then close. Open the book, 1 to 2 seconds, and return. Here's rep 3. Good. Rep 4. Excellent. Here's rep 5. 5 to go. Rep 6. Remember, let your eyes follow your hand over. Here's rep 7. Try to keep your knees together. Okay, depending on how tight you are, your knees may open a little bit. It's not wrong if your knees open, but just recognize that they are opening and try to keep them closer together. You'll feel a bigger change in your stretch. 2 more. 9. Excellent, and here is rep 10. This will be our last one. Do more if you'd like, but this is how we're gonna end. Okay, excellent. Okay, y'all, staying active every day is a part of the healthy lifestyle. We don't have to exercise hard every day. Sometimes just going through a good mobility session is all we need. Take some of these, try them on your own, let me know what you think. Something didn't work for you, let me know. I can try to help you with different variations. Keep tuning in, incorporating different versions of strength and mobility and flexibility and balance. We got to hit all the aspects of how we function so we can promote pain-free longevity. Stay active every day. I'll see you soon.